Versus the Ramadars. What the hell happened to you, Fuyu? Shouted Kumanshina with hard, pretty eyes. Mr. Fuyu said that during the time they left him, things are great on the planet. The electrical people, who were the natives of the planet, were very happy and peaceful, especially with their ability to levitate and fly around in the sky by the powers of their mind. It looked like they were interested in checking out some of the technology Fuyu had in his head that he brought to them from Mutainia. But after 3 years into his stay on the planet, a radiant, glowing being landed on the planet in a ring of light, telling all the planet's people that a powerful being from another dimension had created them for its desire, that they lived with it when they died. That, contrary to what they believed, they had souls that would one day live on its planet called Ramada, but that only live with it if they now worshipped it. If they didn't worship it, they wouldn't live on after their deaths. They would go to hell, and worse still. But the god from planet Ramada would destroy one of their cities each time it was reported back to it that one person was found not worshipping it. The glowing being told the people that it was this god of Ramada that not only created them millenniums ago, but created their planet as well. It was the one that was always bringing them rain and good weather when needed. It was the one that was putting fruit on their trees and making their women pretty. It was the one who gave them the power of mind to fly and dance in the sky, but it needed something from them. According to the glowing, angelic-looking being, the god of Ramada was now sick and possibly dying, needing them to help sustain it until it could find a way to sustain itself without them. That it needed the life energy it had given them since the beginning of their world's creation to sustain it. It told them that they'd have to conserve their energy and never fly again until it could be healed. And if even just one was found to be flying, there would be hell unleashed upon them with its own hand. It sounds suspicious, said Nutan. Hi, said Fuyu. in his native Japanese, after squinting his cloudy eyes. Fuyu went on and said that the being that was claiming to be the creator of them all said that not only was the flying by thought going to have to end, no longer would the living as ageless children have to end, but that they'd have to stop what they were doing every 12 hours and face the absorber of their life force energy. No matter where or what they were doing on the planet, they'd have to stop, turn, and face the absorber for 1 whole hour each time. Or there'd be hell to pay for with its own hand, huh? Responded Nutan. Hi! Shouted Fuyu in agreement. Some people have to work in the night and sleep in the day here. I bow at twilight and dawn in summer. So in a way, I'm lucky. In what way does it make you pay? asked crewman named Obakova, who was part mutated human and part mutated Kumban from the planet Kumba, where whites were once the slaves of blacks. But by destroying a part of a city, said Fuyu. Man, said Nutan, sounds like the god of your planet, this thing from Ramada, has become some kind of Satan. Callisto, the second commander of Mutainia, asked if it could know who was facing the absorber and who was not. Sounds like the glowing being just might be telling the truth of it being the planet's god. Certainly there is a better explanation, though. Were there cameras set up all over the place? If it's a god, it doesn't sound very omniscient. Eventually, said Fuyu. But we later learned that it had holy helpers, people from planet Ramadar, who we take as highest of the holy people, who apparently invaded our planet before the glowing messenger showed up. Holy helpers that look, dress, and act just like us, except for the pious ones that dress differently. The glowing being told us that there were thousands of holy helpers not dressed as us. There were thousands. The glowing being told us there were thousands of holy helpers not dressed as the pious few, but were dressed to look like us, to spy and see that we let our life energy be absorbed. It is they who report back to it through some means we have not yet seen. But they must report, since a few of our cities have been incinerated by it already. Incinerated? How? Shouted a shocked and bothered Mutainia crew. Fuyu said, whenever we face in the direction of the absorber, a humming sound is heard within our heads. About 30 minutes in our facing, somewhere out in the desert, around the absorber, it begins to form, coming up from the ground, leaving a large crater. From where it gets up, I don't know about you, Nutan, but I think it is the life force of the planet. It just stands with a peaceful look on its grey, bearded face, and when the hour is up, it actually bows to the absorber, and a bluish beam of light enters its head. Its grey beard then turns black, and when it takes on the look of a younger, more powerful man, it then goes back to wherever the crater was it got out of, and fills in the crater with dirt until there is no more crater. But a few times it didn't go back to the crater it got out of. A few times when it didn't come out of the ground near the absorber, but, say, came out of the ground in another part of the planet, it is there that it will attack a city. It only attacks a city whenever someone was reported as being defiant. It walks into a city of the one who was reported being rebellious, shouts out something in a language we don't know that sounds like a roar of Godzilla. Its cap glows a bunch of different... It wears a cap? Asked Nutan. Hi, I've never seen it without one, said Fuyu. Anyway, its cap will glow right before it will open its mouth. When it does, a stream of glowing smoke will shoot out and start catching buildings and people on fire. It will then walk about, making that awful roar in its language, crushing people and property under its huge sandaled feet. Sandaled feet? Shouted Obakova. Hi, said Fuyu. Pushing over a building like some kind of monster. You mean monster? Asked Nutan. No, monster. Monster means giant in Patamar. I was in one of the cities it destroyed. I ran with everyone else. I thought for sure I'd feel its wrath, but as you see, I escaped. Thank God I had my communicator with me, or you wouldn't be here now for my rescue. Nutan smiled, shook his head from side to side, and said, and it attacked because one of the holy helpers must have found someone not facing the absorber during the call for absorption, or maybe one of the holy helpers caught someone flying. An incredible diction, as you know. The holy helper was able to communicate the defiance back to Ramadar. I'll edit for here now.